I have so much to say about this, and one day I'm going to write a book about why people should not sleep with pillows, okay?
Yeah.
Not right away, but you want to work towards it. I do not sleep with a pillow, and I have not slept with one for years, to tell you anything under my head, and I have not for years, because this is going to lead us into the natural curvatures of the spine. Okay. So okay. So I may be the only one talking about this. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, I can only tell you what has worked for me. Okay. Really believe that if we can adhere to the natural curvatures, even if we have pain, we can still do great things with our body. Okay. Pretty much my whole coaching scenario is how do I help you move the spine, right? And enhance the curves that you have. Happening to us is that we lose our natural curvatures of our spine. Or they become too pronounced. Okay. So let's talk about the four curves. Okay. There's two inward curves and there's two outward curves. Okay. Of the spine. The two inward curves are the lumbar spine. And go together. Cervical spine. What happens here is happening here. Because they're together. They go together. Okay. Then you have the two outward curves, which is your thoracic spine, the one that we work on a lot, the mid spine, right? And then the sacrum. Right. What happens as we age is that the natural inward curve of our cervical spine, neck, and lumbar spine, lower back, begins to flatten out. Instead of going inward, it begins to flatten out. Okay. And now I learned about flat back syndrome. And since I know that the lumbar spine and the cervical spine go together, to me, when you started talking to me about your neck and your flat spine, you have flat neck syndrome. Okay. So we're losing our natural inward curves. Now, on the other end, as we age, we get overly pronounced in our outward curves, right? We let gravity and life pull on us, so it shapes us. Yes. So with that said, my job as your guys' coach is how do we preserve and enhance the two inward curves, and how do we reverse and also avoid the natural. So that's my job. Basically, that's what I'm doing to you guys at all times. All the things that we do, whether it's bar, burn, mobility flow, is doing that work to the spine, making sure that I'm enhancing your inward curves and I'm strengthening your outward curves so that gravity can't just pull you down into that outward curve shape. Okay. So,
and it makes a lot of
So let's go back to the pillow. Okay. So flat back syndrome, right, is because of the office chair. So look how my lumbar spine goes in. See that inward curve? Well, the office chair or the couch, that much you don't have that much flexion in your lumbar and your cervical. This is where it needs to be, that inward curve, but yet the couch and life itself flattens that area. The pillow. So I think of the pillow, like if you sleep 8 hours a day, let's just say we're supposed to sleep at 8 hours a night, right? If you're sleeping 8 hours on a pillow with your neck like this, that is just as harmful as it is that you sit in an office chair with your lower back. This is why I gave up my pillow a few years ago, because when my hips were hurting so bad, the best I possibly could so that I could manage my pain in my hips. And listen, if I have a stiff neck, I can't manage my pain in my hips. If I have a sore low back, I can't manage my pain in my hips. So that's why I'm like getting rid of my pillow. And it's worked for me. And now when I do, like, let's say, I don't know, every once in a while I could have a pillow under my head. And I don't even really know how it gets there, but let's just say it does. I wake up and all day long I have stiffness in this area. Yeah. Yes. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Okay. How about just tonight, keep it. I don't want you to have a sleepless night. So if you wake up and you're like, or you can't get to sleep, then you grab that pillow. But tonight, let's just scoot the pillow out of the way, lay it beside you or lay it on somewhere, and try to sleep without it and see what happens. Just see what happens so you can see me and stuff. And let's practice sleeping on a yoga mat real quick.
Okay.
Like, you know, there's not one workout that's going to help you solve this problem, right? It's little things that we're going to adjust about everything in your life. You know, I work with my clients and I change the way they sit in their office chair. I'm changing the way you're going to sleep probably. You know, we find all these little ways to make adjustments to hopefully make it better, right? You're going to peek at me when I tell you to peek at me like this, but otherwise your gaze is here and you're just going to listen to the words I'm saying, okay? Peek at me and watch me real quick, okay? Watch how I do this, because we're not just going to lay down, okay? Watch how I do it. I'm going to grab onto the back of the thighs, keep my gaze forward, internally rotate my shoulders, stretch my back, get ready, just like I asked you to do before. Lift your chest, lengthen your collarbones, and then you can slide one leg straight and the other leg straight, and then watch really quick before you go down. See how my chin and my jugular notch are really close together? That's closing off my throat. That's what you don't want, okay? So watch what I do. I'm not gonna move my chin because that hurt my neck, even doing that myself. Instead, I'm gonna push the back of my head right here gently into the ground, and I want you to watch how my chin moves away from my jugular notch. I didn't move my chin away. I just pushed my head into the ground. And guess what else that happened, Lena? It created that inward cervical curve of my spine. Watch really quick. This is a flat cervical spine and a closed throat. I'm not breathing. I'm not age defying. Watch here. I'm just going to push the back of my head into the mat and let my chin slide into position. And now my cervical curve is there. So go ahead and try it, and I'm going to kind of peek and see if I can watch you. That looks good. That should feel so good between the tips of your shoulder blades right there. Did that feel good, stretching down like that? Good. Now lift your chest and lengthen your collarbones. Lift your center of your chest towards your jugular notch, that space between your collarbones. Yeah, and then let your collarbones get really long, and you should feel the backs of your shoulders lightly on the ground. And then you just want to, like, it's not a slam your head into the ground. It's just pressure. And you just let your chin kind of slide and your throat open. And you feel the space between your cervical spine, your neck, and the floor underneath it. From my viewpoint, this looks peaceful. Does it feel peaceful to you, Lena?
So good. Oh my God. Yeah, because when I sleep on the bed, so I sleep like this.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. I know you do. That's what's causing your problems. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with aging. Yes, I cannot wait. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to, your sleep's not going to be disrupted, because it's new movement, new results. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, you know, if you've never done a headstand before and I just told you to do a headstand, you would fall and hurt yourself. Okay. It would be disrupted. You know what? You're not going to hurt yourself sleeping, but you may feel uncomfortable. You may get disturbed. That's why I want the pillow with you. It's going to take time to get used to not having a pillow, because one, our mind thinks we need a pillow, but the last thing you want, because the cervical spine goes in, and you don't want your pillow to bring it out, because then what happens is you wake up with a flat spine. And then you've got that stress and the tension, and then let's do that. Now we've talked body knowledge. We did some clinic. Let's do 4 songs of just movement therapy flow. Let me just throw it out you, and then we'll talk about what felt good and what didn't after the 4 songs. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds really good.
Awesome, honey. Now you can go on.